How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie is probably the most important book everyone on earth should read. In the book, you will learn techniques in handling people, ways to make people like you, how to win people to your way of thinking, and how to be a leader by changing people without giving offenses or arousing resentment. Please, who wouldn't want to learn all of these things, which can be applied in all areas of life, from business to family to social gatherings, name it? Well, that's why I'm here. I got you. If you're interested in learning these things, keep watching. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, a place that inspires you and I to be better versions of ourselves through animated book summaries like this video, tips, information, and through my personal experience. My name is Onyinye Ojike, and in today's video, I'm summarizing the most recommended book of all times, How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. The book is divided into 4 parts as follows. 1. Techniques in handling people. 2. Ways to make people like you. 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. And 4. How to be a leader by changing people without giving offenses or arousing resentment. Each part has its own principles. I'm going to share all because I don't want you to miss out on any point. So let's get started. Part 1. Techniques in handling people. Principle 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Instead of condemning people, let's try to understand them. Let's try to figure out why they do what they do. That's a lot more profitable and intriguing than criticism, and it breeds sympathy, tolerance, and kindness. To know all is to forgive all. Principle 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. I want you to think of a moment when you were appreciated and when you were criticized. How did you feel for the different moments? Good. Take that and apply it to when you deal with other human beings. Principle 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. The only way on earth to influence other people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. Tomorrow, you may want to persuade somebody to do something. Before you speak, pause and ask yourself, how can I make this person want to do it? Part 2. 6 ways to make people like you. Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. We are interested in others when they are interested in us. Publius Cyrus. If we want to make friends, let's put ourselves out to do things for other people. Things that require time, energy, unselfishness, and thoughtfulness. Principle 2. Smile. Your smile is a messenger of your goodwill. Your smile brightens the lives of all who see it. To someone who has seen a dozen people frown or turn their faces away, your smile is like the sun breaking through the clouds. So, keep smiling. Principle 3. Remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. One of the simplest, most obvious, and most important ways of gaining goodwill is by remembering names and making people feel important. Yet, how many of us do it? All this takes time, but good manners, said Emerson, are made up of petty sacrifices. Principle 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. So if you aspire to be a good conversationalist, be an attentive listener. To be interesting, be interested. Ask questions that other persons will enjoy answering. Encourage them to talk about themselves and their accomplishments. Principle 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interest. Talking in terms of the other person's interest pays off for both parties. So before you want to go and talk to somebody or convince someone to do something, think of what will interest the person before you go there. Principle 6. Make the other person feel important and do it sincerely. Talk to people about themselves and they will listen for hours. People like to feel important, and whoever that can make them feel important is a winner. Part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. Principle 1. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. If you are trying to win someone to your way of thinking, don't argue with the person. Just avoid the argument and agree with the person. Then that person is more likely to listen to you and listen to whatever you have to say. A wise old Ben Franklin used to say, if you argue and rankle and contradict, You may achieve a victory sometimes, but it will be an empty victory because you will never get your opponent's goodwill. Principle 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you are wrong. This is the same thing as principle 1, because when you argue with people, you are trying to prove to them that they are wrong and you are trying to say that you are right. So instead of saying you are wrong, why not say something like this? Well, I thought otherwise, but I may be wrong. I frequently am. And if I'm wrong, I want to be put right. So never tell a person that he or she is wrong, especially when you want to win that person to your way of thinking. Principle 3. If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. We all like that person that admits it when he or she is wrong. So be that person. Principle 4. Begin in a friendly way. If your temper is aroused and you go on a lash and talk about the way you're feeling, fine. You have expressed yourself. You have unloaded your feelings. But what about the other person? Will he or she share your pleasure? Will your hostile attitude make it easy for him or her to agree with you? Think about it. Principle 5. Get the other person saying yes immediately. In talking with people, don't begin by discussing the things on which you differ. Begin by emphasizing and keep emphasizing the things on which you agree. Keep emphasizing, if possible, that you are both striving for the same end and that your only difference is one of method and not of purpose. A Chinese proverb goes, "He who treads softly goes far." Principle 6. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. This is the same as being a good listener. Principle 7. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. No one likes to feel that he or she is being sold something or told to do a thing. We much prefer to feel that we are buying of our own accord or acting on our own ideas. We like to be consulted about our wishes, our wants, and our thoughts. So apply this when you are trying to win people to your way of thinking. Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. There is a reason why the other man thinks and acts as he does. Find out that reason and you have the key to his actions, perhaps to his personality. If you say to yourself, how would I feel? How would I react if I were in his shoes? You will save yourself time and irritation. For by becoming interested in the cause, we are less likely to dislike the effect. And in addition, you will sharply increase your skill in human relationships. Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Human beings crave for sympathy. We all want sympathy. So why not give some and win the person over? Principle 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. The fact is that all people you meet have a high regard for themselves and like to be fine and unselfish in their own estimation. So instead of always suspecting people to do bad, expect them to do good and you'll see changes. Principle 11. Dramatize your ideas. You have to use showmanship. The movies use it, television does it, and you will have to do it if you want attention. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. The way to get things done is to stimulate competition. I do not mean it in a sordid, money-getting way, but in the desire to excel. Charles Schwab. This is because everybody loves the chance for self-expression. Everybody loves the chance to prove his or her worth, the chance to excel, and the chance to win. Part 4. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. Principle 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. If you must find fault, this is the best way to begin. Principle 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. In trying to change a child's careless attitude towards studies, we might tell the child, "We are really proud of you, Johnny, for raising your grades this term. But if you had worked harder on your algebra, the results would have been better. Now check this instead. We are really proud of you, Johnny, for raising your grades this term. And by continuing the same efforts next term, your algebra grade can be up with all the others." Did you notice how changing the word "but" to "and" made the second statement milder and more welcoming? This is how to criticize and not be hated for it. Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. We all had a time when we were no good at something, so start with that. Principle 4. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Instead of saying, "do this or do that," or "don't do this or that," why not say, "you might consider this," Or do you think that this would work? Or what do you think of this? A technique like this makes it easy for a person to correct errors. Principle 5. Let the other person save face. So instead of criticizing somebody or telling somebody something bad in the midst of other people, why not call him or her privately and talk to the person? Also, praise people publicly as well so that they feel important. Principle 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Be hearty in your approbation and lavish in your praise. Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. If you want to improve a person in a certain respect, act as though that particular trait were already one of his or her outstanding characteristics. Shakespeare said, "Assume a virtue if you have it not." And it might be well to assume and state openly that other people have the virtue you want them to develop. Give them a fine reputation to live up to, and they will make tremendous effort to change, and you will see results. Principle 8. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. If you want to help others to improve, remember this. Principle 9. Make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggested. When you make your request, put it in a form that will convey to the other person the idea that he personally will benefit. It is naive to believe you will always get a favorable reaction from other persons when you use these principles. But the experience of most people shows that you are more likely to change attitudes this way than by not using these principles. And if you increase your success by even a mere 10%, you have become 10% more effective as a leader, as a friend, as an influence than you were before. And that is your benefit. I will still break down these principles in subsequent videos where I'll show how to practically apply these principles to your everyday life. So you want to subscribe if you have not, and turn on the notification bell to be notified when I upload videos every single Sunday. I hope you got value from this. I want to encourage you to not just watch this video once and let it go. These principles should be memorized to get more out of them. So comment down below, what principle will you begin with? Don't forget to like this video if you got value. Share to your friends so that they can benefit from it. Stick around and watch these 2 valuable videos that you will enjoy. Remember to stay inspired in being a better version of yourself. Take it a day at a time. I love you. Thanks for watching. Bye.